Oh, wow. It's been an interesting day in the land of eBay, hasn't it? Oh, what an update today. Anyway, listen, we'll chat about it in just a few minutes. I'll give you time to compose yourselves, to get a brew, and we'll see you on the other side. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another Monday night show. It's Cookie and the Haydens. It's Monday. It's 8 p.m. again. And I appreciate you all coming by and watching tonight. And as you can see, I'm on my own. Belle is not too well tonight. She's feeling very under the weather. So it's just going to be me. Plus, it's a lot of reselling stuff tonight. So if you're in the mood for some proper reselling chat tonight, well, you're in the right place because we've got some big stuff to talk about, actually. And some of tonight's live stream I am going to repurpose for a podcast. So be on your best behavior, please. Before we do all that, we're going to do all our usual stuff. We've got sale of the week. We're going to talk about eBay's latest announcement. We've got This Is Heavy. We've got some thank yous to do. We'll talk about what's coming up on the channel. We've got the duck race. We've got all that good stuff. So initially, what you need to do is get your hellos in so that I can say hello to as many people as possible in the chat in the 2 minutes allotted time. That's what we do every week to try and sort of engage with everybody, say hello to everybody, and appreciate everybody who's arrived and turned up. If you've never said hello before, please say hello in the chat now. This is your opportunity to get shouted out right at the start of the show. And I need to just get the piece of music ready, live and kicking. What a show! Going live and kicking were great, weren't they, in the 90s? I need to just find it. Hang on a second. Here we go. 2 minutes. Get your hellos in. Let me just turn that down a little bit. There we go. I'll put it on that one. Okie dokie. Right, I'm going to get back to the start of the chat quickly. Big hello to Elaine Parks, who was first in. Ian G's in. We've got Limelight, Vinty, Deborah Nardone or Deborah Sardine, Helen, welcome. AMPR's in. Emsden UK, Sai. We've got Pat Walker, Elaine Parks, Brummy Time Lord is in. Ian G, Andrew Worth, Husty's Emporium, Darren's in. Hi, Darren. Fluffy the Muffin, Ella, SB Reselling, Sophie, Once Loved Treasures. We've got Jeff. Hi, Jeff. Retro Hawk, West Lancs Flips, welcome. We've got Dwayne, Tap Peddler Derek, Gwaz, or G Waz, as many people like to know him these days. Graham is in. Welcome to you, Graham. Lisa. We've got Joan. Hi, Joan. Who else we got? Have I said Pat Walker? I haven't. Babs at the Attic. Drink and Dive Dumpster Divers. Lynn is here. I'm going to get to the bottom of this chat. 140 people. It's going to be tough. This. See what you buy. Who else we got? Come on, Chris. Come on. Karen Evans is here. Sorry. Mr. Crummy. Oh. Oh dear, oh dear. Have I missed somebody there? Don't know. Aaron Sells is in. Welcome, Aaron. Oh, Delboy Dan. Gifts for all. That's a new name. Welcome. Jack is here. Ian J. Vinyl Nuts. I'm definitely going to win this one. Joan Glenn Martin, welcome to you. The Bounty Hunter. Jane Brown. Hi, Jane. Your parcel's in the post. James Thomas Resells, welcome to you. Some new names here. I've almost done it. Secret Carper. We've got Nothing Major. Chris Tyler and Fanny Fi. John Parker. Hi, John. Jason Entwistle. Hillary Rhodes. Tonks. Dippin Williams. John Waddington. Carol McDonald flipping out. Everyone comes in at the last minute. Oh, come on. Les Will. I've not done it. Bell is officially the champion when it comes to this. The Swimming Bear is here. Yorkshire Reseller. Vicky. Welcome to all of you. ABL Reselling. Dave. Shabba. I've almost done it. Dan. Right. I didn't do too bad. LGG's Retro. It's been nice knowing you all. The solar eclipse rupture is about to take us. The first I heard of this was about 5 minutes ago, Jeff. But it's cloudy here anyway, so I don't think we're going to see. Is it? Can we even see it in the UK? I don't know. This thing, this eclipse. I've literally only just found out about this like 5 minutes before we started. And yes, Bell is the champion when it comes to this, but I'm reading and I'm highlighting, so that's the difference. So lots of reselling chat for tonight. If I missed a comment when I was saying hello to everybody, put it back in again. Copy and paste it back in because there's so many comments. It's hard for me to keep up with it. And I really want to keep up with the chat on today's show, especially because we're going to talk about lots of stuff. Oh, USA only. Okay. Ireland is your best chance for the eclipse, but don't get it fully. Oh, okay. ABL's been listing. 6 minutes to peak. Oh, good luck. I hope it goes well. Take a picture, Jeff. Can you take a picture and send it me? Some of the west of the UK might be able to see a little bit, but yeah, it's very cloudy at the moment anyway, isn't it? And Mexico as well. Vinny's in. Oh, Paul said I've been watching the live feed of this eclipse. Oh. Yeah, I didn't know about it until a little while ago. Joe says NASA TV has it. Didn't even know NASA TV was a thing, Joe. Scouse Dan's in. Hi, Scouse Dan. I can't highlight you because StreamYard's playing silly beggars. Aaron says I probably hold a different view. That's fine. All views are welcome. We're going to talk about it in a bit, Aaron. So save your views. But I really want to have as balanced an opinion as possible. So let's try and bring all aspects to the table. I want to hear everybody's opinions, but not now because we're going to do it in a bit. And I'm going to utilize some of that chat for a future podcast. We're not allowed to view the eclipse since Brexit. I've got a friend who's in the 100% totality area. What does that mean? Just complete like eclipse in that area? I don't know. That's what it sounds like. Okay. Oh, Kevin's just popped in from Florida. Kevin, have you got some kind of view? I assume you have because you're not like a million miles away from Jeff, who's in North Carolina, so can't be that far. Wes Lanks, how good was WrestleMania? I've got no idea, Wes Lanks. No idea. I don't watch it. The only time I really watched the wrestling was back in the 90s when it was Royal Rumble with the likes of Doink the Clown, The Undertaker, Hulk Hogan. Who else did it? I did like Doink the Clown. Those kind of that kind of crew. When there was like 30 wrestlers coming in, and then if they got chucked out over the edge, then they were out, and you just carried on until there was one person left. That was the Royal Rumble. Do they still do those rumbles? I don't even know that. 85% says Jeff. That's quite a lot, isn't it? Big Boss Man. Legion of Doom. I don't remember Legion of Doom. No, don't remember that one. Ric Flair. Kind of rings a bell. Super Sleuth is having good sales today. That's good to hear. At least somebody is. Royal Rumble every year. You see, I didn't even know it was every year, to be honest. But yeah, I remember it from the 90s. LG says, who cares about eBay? Whatnot's where it's at. We'll talk about eBay in a bit, Jack. We'll talk about it in a bit. A big oh no tonight. True. Oh, Reselling says the winner of the Rumble gets a world title shot at WrestleMania. Ah, no clue that was how it went. Interesting. It makes sense, doesn't it? Let's do a bit of reselling stuff to get us going into the mood. We're gonna start off with whilst sales have been relatively quiet, I have had some, which is something. So let's do this.
I hope and pray we can sell it all on eBay.
It's sale of the week. I need to share my screen for this one. Share the screen. Here we go. Now, remember this one. Is that on? Yeah. Remember that. Oh, can I do it like that? Yeah, I can see as well. Sorry, I'm just looking at the back end of StreamYard. That's fine. Yeah, remember this one that I picked up from the States? This kind of unusual ice hockey jersey. The Troy St. John Sea Dogs. The Sea Dogs. And I put it up for 90. I had no clue, what it was worth. It was up for $89.99, and I did take an offer on it for 65. Someone offered me 65, and I took it. I thought, well, bird in the hand, and I took that offer. So I thought 65 was a very fair offer. I paid $5 for it in the States, which is about £4, and that's the shirt and these. I'm not sure if these are arm extenders or something, leg extenders. I don't know, but I listed them anyway. Oh, it's arms, extra arms. It comes with those, so it was a bit unusual, but I was happy to see that one shift. It was a nice sale from the old USA lot that I picked up. So that is my sale of the week. I'll just show you if you really want to see some of the other pictures. Bit of an unusual one. Quite hard to research on it, so I just had to pluck a number out of the air. It's got a little hole on it. Thankfully, I did describe that one. But other than that, yeah, there it is. Sale of the week. Let's just take that down. There we go. And the chat's moving so fast. I'm going to get behind, aren't I? 182 people watching. Welcome, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe for more content, more reselling content like this. Surely you remember Big Daddy and Giant Haystacks? Kind of. Yeah. The main ones, like I say, I remember Doink the Clown, The Undertaker, obviously Hulk Hogan. They're the main ones. They're the ones I think of straight away. Are you going to Tilt? Well, let's talk about that now. I've put a link on the top of the chat. And there's also a link in the description. I had a phone call with Tilt today. Now, if you don't know who Tilt are, they are a live selling app, very, very similar to Whatnot, but they are clothing only. So, or certainly at the moment anyway, they are clothing only. I don't know if they are planning to have other categories. Maybe they will go other categories in the future, but at the moment, they are marketing themselves as clothing only. So they rang me today, and we had a conversation about how things were going live selling and stuff. And I'm going to do a Zoom call with them tomorrow, and we're going to have a more in-depth conversation about Tilt, because I might join Tilt. I'm already on there just as a user, just not a seller, but I might try Tilt out for a short period to see how it goes, with a view to using Tilt in the future. So with that in mind, if you did, and I don't like keep asking about, sign up to this, sign up to that, but if you do want to, there is available another offer where if you're not on Tilt already, there is a link in my description or pinned to the top of the chat where if you sign up to Tilt using that link, you'll get some free money, and I also get a free kickback as well. I get like a free credit of some kind. I think it might be £5 or £10. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, so if you did want to sign up, and then look out just in case I do a show, I might well do it. It's all going to depend on tomorrow's Zoom call. So possible, definitely possible. Always interesting to see what other platforms are doing, and I have heard good things about Tilt. I don't know if he's in the chat now. I won't mention his name just in case he doesn't want me to mention it. But I was recommended to have a look at Tilt by somebody who is a supporter of the channel, and I did do, and I was quite impressed. So who knows? Maybe. Yeah, it's all gonna be based on tomorrow's Zoom call. Everything sounds positive, but there's a few little things I need to iron out with them about, Whatnot and Tilt and, eBay live selling and stuff, and some questions I have. So I want to do that first. But in all intents and purposes, there's definitely a trial period in the offing that I can try out, and still maintain Whatnot. So yeah, go and have a look at Tilt. Even if you don't want to use my code, it's absolutely fine. I don't care. It's there if you want some free credit. But if you don't want to use the code, then just go and check it out anyway, and just see what you think, because I might be doing a show on there soon, depending on how tomorrow goes. AMPR says all my local car boots not yet started waterlog pictures. Do you have any indoors or anything? Thingy's on. Runcorn's on in the indoor. I didn't bother going this week, but yeah, couldn't be bothered going. Drink and Dive have been members for 19 months. That's brilliant, that, guys. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate it. It's a good sale. Yes, thank you. Very good sale. I was happy with that. Thank you, Deborah Sardine. Yeah, random jersey, but were there any fees? What do you think, Mr. Crummy? Chappers is in. Resale Oasis. Thank you for joining us. And Night's Life has popped in. Thank you, Richard. $1 Million Man Ultimate. I do remember Ultimate Warrior. Yeah, I do remember that. Don't know about Rick Rude. Not sure about that one. Tried signing up for Tilt, but your referral code has an underscore that it won't let me put in. Oh, that's weird. It should do. Try copying and pasting it instead of like typing it in. Well, it should do. That's the one they give me. Let me check. Where's the app? Tilt. Yeah. Carbu _Chris 126. And somebody has signed up just now. So whoever that is, if you're watching, thank you. So it has worked, Lana. Somebody has literally just signed up to that. So that's great. Yeah, but that's the thing. You probably can't see it. Carboot _ Chris 126. If I copy that, what happens if I type this into the chat? Hang on a minute. Let me just see what happens if I type this in. I don't know. Oh, it's just giving. Oh, it's just giving the same thing as what it says on the top. Okay, that's fine. Try it again, Lana, or try copying and pasting it instead of actually typing it. That might work. I don't know. Don't give up. Tilt will be ideal for private sellers. Don't start. George's Treasure Shed, welcome. And welcome to everybody else who I haven't said hello to. I do appreciate you being here. 188 people. It's the most we've had in. I wonder why. You know, bit of drama in the community, bit of dramatic stuff to talk about. Normally that brings people in, doesn't it? Oh, Jack, was that you that just signed up? Thank you very much, Jack. Well, somebody's used it. Somebody's used it already. Jack, did you have a problem using the underscore for the code? Right, Delboy Dan says most car boots were cancelled this weekend, but found a tabletop sale and yard sale. So was able to pick some yard sale. That's good. You don't see many yard sales, do you? I wish there were more yard sales. Maybe we'll see more this year, do you think, in the summer, do you think? I hope so. I do like yard sales and garage sales and stuff. Peter Ray says, good to be back at the car boot. First one last Sunday. Not that I got much. Oh, well. Yeah, up and running. It's early days, isn't it? Did a car boot this weekend selling, but didn't record it. Did you make some decent money, Richard? Who's joining Jog It On? Not that many people, I don't think. Everyone's got the popcorn ready. Yeah. That's not me. It wasn't you signing up. Okay. Different Jack. No problem. You can sign up if you want. We've not covered it yet. I'm a reseller. Give us time. We're not ready yet. Hold your horses and come back shortly. We will cover it in a minute because it's going to take us a bit of time, I think. Night's Life got rid of loads of stuff and met some subscribers. That's good. There you go, Jack. You lot must be doing it wrong. Jack had no problem, so come on, get your fingers out. Andrew says all our car boots were cancelled due to waterlogged fields and the hard standing one due to wind. Yeah, it was windy, wasn't it? The tier prints round here, the one that I did the video on this weekend, because I went to that one the weekend before. So I'm 1 week ahead on the videos at the minute. That was called off this weekend on Sunday because of the winds. LGG says, with all these new platforms, eBay needs to step up their... You know what? They absolutely do, LGG. They absolutely need to step it up. But before we move on to the eBay stuff, I have been told by a reliable contact, of which I can't say the name of, that eBay are very, very, very close to starting live selling in the UK. But I believe they're going to start with collectibles and trading cards and stuff, a bit like how Whatnot started. So they're going to start. This is what I've heard. It might not happen like this, but this is what I've heard from a contact, is that they're going to begin with collectibles and trading cards. And clothing will come, but it could be over a year until clothing is on the live selling on eBay. So that's just what I've heard. I don't know if it will come to fruition in that way. That's just word on the street, okay? If it doesn't happen like that, don't blame me. but I believe it's very, very close to starting in the UK with collectibles and trading cards. By gum. Uh, Barbara the Alien has popped in, aka Claire B. Hang on. Barbara the Alien, Claire B. How does that work, Barbara, Claire? Lisa said she heard that, and Dave is winding us all up. Imagine. Ian says, Chris, yard sales aren't that great for selling. The tables are only 3 feet wide. Oh, God's sake, man. Took me a minute to get that one, Ian. Well done, though. Good job. Good effort. Deborah says, no car boots down here. Soggy waterlogged in Cornwall. Everything's postponed. It's like tumbleweed. Nothing happening. Very frustrating. Aye. It's been wet the last few weeks, hasn't it? George's Treasure Shed having trouble inputting. Well, Jack managed it. Yeah, I don't know. It seems to be fine, but a couple of people are having trouble. So maybe just keep trying. There's 2 people signed up. So thank you for the 2. So it has worked, but obviously some people are having a bit of bother. So keep trying. Keep trying. You never know. You might see me on Tilt one day soon. Oh, that's my eBay store name, followed by my real name. Oh, okay. Interesting. I believe so, Chris. Yes, I have heard this as well. Who was it? I've read this. I've read this here. Thank you, everyone watching. 206 people. That's a record for 2024. I've read this on Instagram, but also Georgie Reseller also said that he had that information as well. Very, very interesting. Strange. I wonder who's been offered that, and by offering it to some sellers, does that mean that they've had to come off the other platforms completely? Because would it be worth somebody doing that? I guess it depends on what the benefits eBay are offering, but that's a bold, that's an interesting move from eBay, isn't it? If that is the case. I don't know if I would want to give up the live selling apps, the live selling options, even if eBay said, half price fees or something. I don't think I'd want to give it up, the option of it, because I quite like having a little bit of a spread on the platforms rather than have all my eggs in one basket, as you might have seen on today's little video. eBay live selling, yeah, I believe it's very close in the UK. But like I said before, clothing might be longer before that comes on. And they're going to graduate it a bit like what Whatnot did, I think. Music Light Show, welcome, new name. I've given up on eBay, too many scammers. I'm concentrating on Facebook Marketplace, which has been okay. But the thing is, Facebook Marketplace, you're very limited on your audience. And it is like the Wild West, isn't it? It's a nightmare for time wasters. I mean, sometimes eBay can be a nightmare for time wasters, people buying and then wanting to cancel or not paying. But at least you do have a worldwide marketplace. But I don't think I could do like heavily on marketplace. I would struggle. I haven't really got the products for it, really. It's best for bigger things, isn't it? Furniture and stuff like that that's local pickup. So Married to Reselling, welcome. Oh, Married to Reselling. I've had a suggestion that I'm considering actually making a video on it. Following the bubble wrap scandal, the video that I did following your lead on that. Somebody suggested I need to check how many pieces of toilet paper there are on a toilet roll and make sure we're getting the correct amount of toilet paper. So I genuinely am considering doing it for a laugh, checking the bog roll. The only problem is I'm embarrassed by the fact that it's Asda Smart Price toilet roll. So, but I want to make sure I'm getting value for money on the bog roll. So I'm considering actually doing a video and counting the pieces on a bog roll. What has life come to? Oh, Lisa's managed to sign up. Thank you, Lisa. AMPR went to Runcorn. Skip it now until summer. Yeah, I believe a lot of people do that now once the weather gets good. You not missed anything, Steve? No, you not missed anything yet. Right, guys. Start having a little think about the whole eBay fiasco because we're going to get to it in a minute. Have a little think about it. What are your opinions on it? And let's work on it. Mark on Facebook says it was being discussed in one of the groups. They were offered 0 fees if they agreed only to sell on eBay. Wow. 0 fees if they agreed only to sell on eBay. Wow. Ooh. What would I do if I was offered 0 fees? I would have to seriously think about it. 0 fees is a big offering, isn't it? What would everybody else do in that situation? I mean, you can only really answer that if you do operate on multiple platforms. If you do operate on multiple platforms, let us know. Would you take that? You'd have to seriously consider it, wouldn't you? I'd have to have a look at my accounts over the last year and see how much it cost me on eBay fees and see, how that compares. Yeah, that's kind of what we're saying here, isn't it, Vintage? Full of scammers, yeah. A lot of scammers, definitely. Maybe nuts. That could happen. It could kill it. Who knows? We don't know until it happens. Check the toilet paper for absorbency. I think we'll draw the line at just counting the pieces. Guy says, I think you should do a video on how long a piece of string is so people stop getting scammed. Paul said, I got 2 rolls of bubble wrap this week. Haven't measured them, but they certainly seem a lot longer than what I was getting from previous suppliers. Are you going to measure them, Paul? I'd love to hear how it goes. It's like checking how many crisps in a packet. Yeah, not many, Peter. Not compared to 20 years ago or 30 years ago. I feel like we get about 10 crisps. As long as we're not demonstrating the quality. You need to do a live doing that with a bog roll. Really, Vicky? You what, sat on the toilet as well? Oh, John. John Merrick. Welcome. Big welcome to everybody. Right, I tell you what, John, because you've been so nice about saying hello, I think we need to do a big welcome to John Merrick, everybody. Welcome to your first ever hello.
This is my island in the sun.
There you go. Can't be nicer than that, can we? Yes. True. To be honest, Joan, sounds like a shit video, doesn't it? There we go. AMPR, 0 fees for eBay exclusive ad sign up tonight. Jack, 0 fees, 100% with eBay. Interesting. I definitely think it'd be worth considering I don't think 50% would make me do it, but 0 fees would definitely, I would think about that very carefully. If you're watching eBay, you might have seen my video earlier. All is forgiven. You give me 0 fees, I might consider it. Husty says 0 fees and full visibility. No deal. You're pushing it a bit there. You can't expect full visibility. You're going to have to pay for promoted listings, aren't you? I've sold loads on Facebook Marketplace. It's the only place I'll sell electrical items. As when I used to sell electrical stuff on eBay, for some reason they didn't work. And I would end up out of pocket. You know what? Whatever works for you, because everybody's business is different, right? And we all operate slightly differently. We all sell on different marketplaces, and we all like get to know our marketplaces really well. And if you've learned how to deal with Facebook, and you've learned how to deal with the time wasters and the scammers, and you sell well on there, then who are we to say it's not a good idea? I say go for it. You know, if that's the way your business is going, then go for it. Alison would sign up. Guy King would do it for not final value, even if they charged insertion. Okay. Etsy would be no loss to flipping out. Helen would stay with eBay. That's a bum job. Yes, very funny. Not as good as my joke, though, Ian. Aaron said, so in eBay's eyes, Vinted don't allow business sellers. So today they've matched Vinted. They're obviously losing out. And when Pro comes out, they may follow suit, as Vinted Pro is no fees in terms of... Yes, it is. Completely right, Aaron. Everything you say there is correct. And you never know. But we'll get to it in a bit, Aaron. I don't want to jump the gun, because I want to do a whole section on it in just a few minutes. Once I get to the bottom of the chat, we're going to talk about it. But we'll come back to your comment. Or copy it and paste it again in a bit. Will you sit on the... Well, that's what I said to Belle. I said I can sit on the loo, obviously, like just sitting on the top of the loo. And we could do it. 0 fees and I'll still make money on promoted? Yeah, absolutely. I'm just trying to skip down to the bottom of the chat so that we can crack on. AMPR had a good experience there. That's good. Lots of people saying welcome to John. Thank you all. Don't be scared, John. That's what someone said there. Hillary said, I would stay for 0 fees. Yeah. There's been another article, hasn't there, from The Sun. This time I had nothing to do with it. They picked that up off their own back, so nothing to do with that one. Reseller Georgie's in. Hi, George. Welcome, Paul Rose. Question from Dave ABL. How much of a flat fee subscription would you pay for no fees on eBay? Don't know. I'd have to check my history. I'd have to check my accounts. I don't know. Monthly subscription for no fees. Couple £100. I'm just a casual reseller at car boot sales, but I've never tried eBay. I just follow, as I would love to do reselling as a business. Oh, that's interesting. You need to put your name in there. You know, at least give yourself, even if you don't want to use your real name, it's fine. You know, lots of people have weird and wonderful names. So give yourself a name, then I don't have to keep calling you Star. So Star, it's good to have you on board and welcome. And hopefully maybe you'll give eBay a try, or one of the other platforms if you don't fancy eBay. Ready Steady Retro said, I think the selling platform price war has started. Buckle up. Yeah, could be, couldn't it? Right. Let's do the main topic. We've got 228 people in the chat. This could be an actual record for the channel on a live show. So thank you to 228 people who are watching right now. Give us at least a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. I want to see more subscribers than losses on tonight's live show. Right. Now, I'm going to repurpose some of this content because I think it'll be great for the podcast. So you'll have to bear with me. I'm going to do a little intro for the podcast, right? So I can just repurpose it. It looks a bit silly doing it in the middle of the show, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, so just bear with me. Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. I appreciate you popping along. And I'm Car Boot Chris, full-time reseller. And I sell on eBay and whatnot and some other platforms as well. And today we're going to talk about eBay's latest announcement, which is that private sellers are being given clothing listings for free. No fees to list, no final value fees either. So completely free selling other than promoted listings and extras that will be chargeable. But essentially, a private seller can sell a clothing item on eBay from now on and get 100% of their sale fee, assuming that they don't use any extras. So today, when I first heard this information, I was absolutely livid. I was fuming. Seriously, I was absolutely fuming. As you can see, I took to the socials. I made a little video that I put on TikTok. I put on YouTube and I put on Instagram. And it really sparked me off a bit because you know what? I've been on eBay since the year 2000. Obviously, I started life as a private seller, buying and selling my own stuff. In 2015, I turned into a business, and ever since I've been a business seller. I still have my private account as well, but I don't think I've ever bought or sold anything off my private account for years. So I am a loyal advocate of eBay. Seriously, I love eBay. I genuinely love eBay. It's been a part of my life for almost half my life, and I genuinely love it. So for me to come out with my little rant or my little comments and my social sharing, I don't normally do that. But I was so incensed by it. I really thought it was a shitty move by eBay. I can appreciate why they're doing it. And I'll go through everyone's comments in a minute who's watching on YouTube at the moment. I can totally appreciate the reasoning behind it, but I think they missed the mark big time. They said in their little release at the bottom that their business sellers, their small business sellers on eBay are the heart of the eBay community. And that is not how I feel after having read their update and seen what it means for eBay. Now, I've said I love eBay. I want eBay to be the best platform because it's the most worldwide platform. It's the best platform across the world. Amazon, a bit of a different beast. You can't compare eBay and Amazon, but eBay is the best for secondhand. And it's clear that eBay are attempting to compete with or blast Vinted out of the water. And I think that the timing of this announcement comes because they probably got wind that Vinted Pro is very close to being released. I reckon Vinted Pro is going to come out very soon. And I think that's why eBay have come up with this little plan. And actually, it's a great deal for private sellers. It's an amazing deal. But the problem that eBay have is that over the last few years, they have made selling on their platform far too complicated and complex and long-winded for your average Joe seller who doesn't have a lot of time, who works full time, who has kids, who has a lot going on in their lives, but just wants to list and sell the odd thing in their house or their odd bit of clothing. They've made that process so complicated that it's too long-winded for most normal sellers now, I think, in my opinion. And that's where Vinted plugged a gap. And Vinted plugged that gap really well. It's so fast to list. You can take a couple of photos, a very quick description, a few item specifics, and you can be done in about a minute or 2 minutes. You can have your listing done. You can do 10 listings as a private seller, as a normal average Joe doing a full-time job with kids. You can get 10 listings on Vinted in 20 minutes, no problem whatsoever. But if you flip that over, private sellers or any seller, but I'm just talking about your casual seller on eBay, if you're not used to the process, if you're not used to listing quickly and doing your item specifics in the correct way and going through that listing process, it can take you 20 minutes to do one listing on eBay. And I think that is where Vinted has a major advantage. So I guess the question for me is this change, is this offer from eBay genuinely going to bring those private sellers back to the platform? Is it really? Because time is everything to people like that. To you and me, to Joe Blogs, to Joe Public, who have all that stuff going on in their lives, who want to list quickly. Is it really going to bring those people back? Because they're still going to have to take 20 minutes plus to list an item on the eBay platform, whereas Vinted will allow it a lot quicker. So I wonder whether it will actually make a massive difference. I'm trying to be as pragmatic as possible. I can understand totally why eBay took the move. They want to blast Vinted out of the water. But imagine this. Imagine this. What if eBay had made the move to say all clothing on the platform will be free to list and no final value fee? All clothing to every single seller across the platform in the UK, I guess. I don't know if they're doing it in other countries. What if they'd have done that? I tell you what, that would have been a statement for the selling marketplaces. That would have been a real statement, and that could have seriously damaged the likes of Vinted Pro when it's going to come out. That would have been an amazing move. And in my opinion, eBay did not have the balls to do it. That's my opinion. They did not have the balls to do it. If they'd have done it, they could have done something amazing. They could have made a move in the marketplace that would have blasted them out of the water. They'd have finished them. They could have finished Vinted from a pro point of view. Vinted would be fine with how it's going at the moment, but it might have ended their pro. Anyway, that's me. I'm going to get to the chat. Thank you, everybody. I can see loads of comments in the chat. I'm going to whiz back to the start, and I'm going to start looking at some comments because I have got some more stuff to say, but I'm wary of going too far because I'm going to get really, really behind with the chat. So let's see where I got up to. Vinny on YouTube says, with private sellers able to list without fees, they will be able to sell the same brand clothes cheaper than us as business sellers. As I have to factor in fees in my price, it will drive the price of clothes down. I think you are correct in that, Vinny. I think that could happen. But the question is, how many of those private sellers are eBay going to convince to come back to the platform and sell for free? Is it really going to work? Is the process still too long-winded for most sellers? And is their promotion simply going to drive registered business sellers to sell on a private account instead? Is that all it's going to do? and then they'll just end up losing even more money from the fees that they would have got from business sellers. I'm not going to do that, guys. That's not me. I don't want to misrepresent myself and my business on eBay. eBay means too much to me and my business for me to get in trouble on there or lose my account. I have no intention of misrepresenting myself. Quite a lot of people today have said to me, just go and sell on a private account and save the fees. I've got no intention of doing that. I'm not going to do that. But I think a lot of people will do that. Oh, is there a special guest? No, there's no special guest. There's no special guest. Let's see what else we got. Delboy Dan says, "I'm glad I don't sell many clothes. I guess just to look for unique or rare clothing. Still not. It's not going to be. There might not be an issue at all with the clothing section. It might not really make much difference. In fact, eBay are doing this to try and drive more people to the platform, more people to sell, and thus more people to buy. I mean, I'm not naive in the fact that I can see why they're doing it, but I think they just targeted it all wrong. I think they should have really embraced the business community, and they should have done it across the board and thought, sod it to the fees. We can gain back our fees in other ways. We can gain it back on promoted listings and stuff like that. But the value of having more sales on the platform and more listings would have offset some of their losses. So they should have done it across the board. I totally understand why they're doing it and the reasons. Once Loved Treasures says eBay need to offer the average business seller some sort of realistic benefit. Live selling isn't for everyone and will only attract folk from whatnot. Yeah, I do think eBay really need to respond to this quickly and give us business sellers something back. I'd love to see them give us the clothing for free as well. Will they do it? I don't think so. I don't think so. I'd love to see it though. It would be a major move in the marketplace if they did. I think it would be a fantastic move if they did. And we'll take back everything that we've said. And I totally agree. Live selling is definitely not for everybody. It's not. But it will be a good addition to the eBay marketplace. Helen says, I think if it brings more sellers onto eBay, it will bring more buyers as well. Yes, Helen, totally agree. That is the upside of it. But I think they could have done it in a better way. Definitely. And Alison Wakefield says we've been shafted. I think there's definitely an argument to say that. Right now, eBay are pandering to private sellers and business sellers that also do whatnot. I've not had any pandering towards me, but I won't mind a bit of pandering. But yeah, you're kind of right there. Aaron Sells says Vinted has obviously affected eBay, I suppose that's meant to mean, and Vinted are now making their own moves to combat that. Like I said earlier, when it's free on Vinted for businesses, eBay may do the same. Yeah, they might do. I hope they do. But imagine though, Aaron, if they'd have done that move now, before Vinted Pro comes out, they could have done it all in one go, and it would have been a massive move in the marketplace, wouldn't it? Been a big statement. Clive said, I'm a private seller. I've had 0 fees from February, ends in the 15th of April. Yeah, Clive, there's always lots of offers on the private seller accounts. I don't really have a major issue with that. eBay has historically always given private sellers lots more offers than business sellers. I don't have a major problem with it. And I know a lot of people, a lot of private sellers who have had some really good offers. But this clothing offer is something else. That's something different. James says, I don't sell clothes, but this makes me angry. They can decide to do things like this for any niche whenever they want. It would be nice if they consulted the business sellers that it affects. Yeah, a real lack of consultation. They just did it, didn't they? Husty says, I got told by them earlier, in no way will this affect us in any way. undercutting that might take place will have no impact on us. You can imagine my face at that point. Yeah, of course it's going to affect us. There could be positives. We could have more people on eBay, and therefore, they might find they're gonna. Most buyers, I mean, I certainly don't. When I'm buying on eBay, I don't really distinguish whether someone's a business or a private seller. I'm just buying what I want to buy if I find something that I want to buy. I'm not bothered if they're private or business. So we could find that we do get an increased amount of traffic, but then there is going to be negatives to it as well, like you say. Martin says, how can you mention love and eBay in the same sentence? I love eBay, Martin. I genuinely do. But I'm very, very disappointed right now in this one. And I tell you why I love eBay, Martin. This roof that keeps me dry is basically being paid for by eBay. My mortgage is paid for by eBay. My bills are paid for by eBay. That's how I make a living. So, yeah, of course I love eBay. It pays for my car, it pays for my house, it pays for my bills, it pays for my holidays. Yeah, just, I can love eBay, but also be disappointed, which today I'm really disappointed. And I hope they come back with I really, really want them to come back with something, with some kind of reaction to this. That's why I was encouraging people on Instagram to tag eBay UK in every comment. Like, if you want to have an opinion on this, please go to my Instagram post. I don't care about views or traction or anything like that. Just go and comment on the video that I did on eBay or the post. But when you make your view known, tag eBay UK in as well. Let's just swamp them with our opinions on this, because otherwise they're not going to know that we're not happy about it. Possibly, Aaron. Yeah, it's a fair comment. Aaron says we all do what's right for our own business, and maybe this is eBay doing exactly that. Yeah, I'm open to all comments and all opinions. If eBay think that this is the way that they're going to improve their business going forward, with Vinted Pro coming out, with Whatnot there, with Tilt, growing, and live selling and all that, if eBay feels this is the way, we can't argue with it, really, can we? We can only put our opinions forward. Star says, how can you love them? They obviously don't love you. Oh, they do, really. They love us all, really, don't they? I've always been a big advocate of eBay. They're the biggest and best platform by far, by a million miles. But they are in danger right now. I do feel it. I do feel they're in danger. Vinted and Depop have no seller fees on everything. Yes, they do. Yep. It's not just clothing. Maybe this is a bit of a tester for eBay. Maybe it's something that they might want to adopt on a wider basis if it goes well. I don't know. Maybe they're going to test it out. Well, it does say that there is no time limit on it on the post. I've not got it up actually at the minute. I should have got it up so I could read it properly, but there's no time limit on it at the moment. It just says from the 8th of April. But obviously, eBay can change their mind at any point. They can pull that promotion at any time they want, because it's their own terms and conditions. They'll just change the T's and C's. Aaron says there isn't a single place online yet where, as a business, you can sell your stuff for free. Yeah. Facebook Marketplace. You can sell for free on there, can't you? And obviously Vinted Pro when it comes out. Peter Ray says it is all it is eBay are trying to get sellers back because they realize how Vinted and Depop are not charging fees. To be honest, they're going the wrong way about it, helping private sellers. Yeah, I think they've kind of they could have done this so much better. They could have wiped the floor, but instead I don't think they had the balls to do it properly. SB Reselling says on their website, on eBay's website, it does say it's not a temporary move. So, but just the same, Sophie, eBay can change their terms and conditions at any time. If it's not working, don't worry, they'll change it. Fletch says it's terrible. It encourages more improper use of private user accounts by people who should be businesses. eBay don't do much to crack down on people breaking their own policy. Yeah, I agree. I think it will cause more business sellers to operate on a private account. I think that will happen more than actual new private sellers coming back to eBay. I think that's what will happen. But who am I? I'm only guessing. I don't know. Let me just go through the chat a bit more. Crest, welcome, says they were testing it with 100% off fees to selected sellers. Possibly it could be a little bit of a test, couldn't it? To see how much uptake they got. Yeah, you could be right there, Crest. Might have been a little test of that. Paul says it's a great deal for private sellers who will then end up having to register as a business seller and lose the benefit. I wonder if when eBay introduced that, which is actually from now, isn't it? 8th of April, from now. I wonder if they're going to monitor private seller accounts much more closely than previously. And when they get to a certain amount, it might be in the terms and conditions. I've not read the small print on this deal, by the way. So maybe when private sellers start getting to a certain amount, they'll start contacting them and saying, you're now going to have to move to a business account. Married to Reselling says, don't worry, eBay's plan will fail. As soon as VI Red Seller tries to list something on eBay for the first time, they'll never come back. Yeah, because it's such a complicated process. Oh, you mean Vinted? So as soon as a Vinted seller tries to list something on eBay for the first time, they'll never come back. Yeah, because compared to Vinted, it's so hard, isn't it? Tommy Trey says, I agree. We were comparing the Vinted versus eBay listing process. Oh, it's a world apart, isn't it, Tommy? It's a world apart. ABL Dave says, set up a private seller account and run it alongside your business account. Not 100% legitimate, but if you're paying your taxes, it's a matter for you and trading standards. Yeah, I'm not going to advise anyone to do that, Dave. I wouldn't do that myself. Everyone's just got to do what they got to do, but I wouldn't do it. Crest says, hopefully eBay changes the specifications soon. I would love it. I'd absolutely love it if they would do it, if they change that. Vinyl Nuts says, Vinted Pro is entirely free. With Vinted Pro, you can list as many secondhand items as you like at no cost. Good. It'd be interesting when that happens. I reckon that's coming really soon, Vinyl Nuts, because I think this is probably what has prompted eBay to come out with this. I think they want to like trump that announcement. Scouse Dan, it's only the clothing, nothing else. So your average, your everything seller, it won't affect you. It might affect you a little bit. I'm not sure how much it's going to affect us. It's just an annoyance, isn't it? It's annoying more than anything else. If anything, if you're selling in other categories, you might benefit more from it, because if it does bring more buyers and sellers to eBay, then that can only really be a good thing for most of us. And it should drive people to find more of your products. That's what eBay are obviously hoping, and that's why they're doing it. Star says, look after the business sellers first, then the private sellers might have something to aspire to. Who will want to get a business account? Yeah, nobody's going to want to move to a business account unless they absolutely have to. But yeah, they should look after us. They really should. They said in that press release that we as business sellers are the heart of eBay. That I quote that. They are the heart of eBay. and then they come out with a plan like that. That doesn't give me the vibe that eBay genuinely think we are the heart of eBay. It doesn't. Ian says it feels like business sellers are actually subsidizing private sellers. 100%, Ian. I think I said earlier today that I now understand why eBay just recently released that little extra fee that was like 0.5% or something. Remember that little fee that's now probably going to be a yearly increased fee? I now understand potentially why they brought that in. We're probably paying for this whole thing. Husty says, everyone, are you sitting down? What they are actually doing is getting people to become business sellers, which makes it more competition on all sellers, therefore more revenue from promotions. Yeah, there's always rhyme and reason to everything. Totally agree. Lana says eBay are just taking the mickey out of business sellers. I agree with Dave. You should all just create a second private account for clothing. Husty says it's probably not feasible to give it to all business sellers. Probably not, Husty. But imagine if they could do it. You know, there would be no need for Vinted Pro, really, would there? If eBay suddenly said to us, no fees, no final value fees, would you bother setting up a Vinted Pro account? I probably wouldn't bother. eBay's got the biggest reach of any platform in the world. Why would you bother wasting your time? So, yeah. Darren Hawkins on YouTube says, sad thing is now private sellers can promote at 10% and still pay less than us business sellers promoting at 2%. Totally true, yeah. Totally. Shabba says, I timed myself listing an item on eBay, normally 8 minutes, 28 seconds, and the same time on Vinted, 3 minutes, 36 seconds. Now, Shabba, just think about this. Put yourself in the shoes of a private seller who will only list 2 or 3 items a week just of their own stuff, who is not an experienced seller, who's not experienced at photographs or going through the listing process. You can at least minimum double that time on the eBay. So 16 plus minutes. It's got to be close to 20 minutes if you're not experienced on eBay. So let's call it 16 minutes. Let's be really generous and double the time because you're an experienced seller. So 16 minutes on eBay, but I would bet they can still list on Vinted in exactly the same time as you, Shabo, because it's a piece of cake. It's 3 minutes. So 3 minutes versus 16, you know. Let's go through the comments here. Let's see. We've got lots and lots of comments. Thank you all for commenting. 262 people currently watching on YouTube. It's a world record. Thank you all so much. Where's Nina on YouTube says, Vinted banned my account and guided me to their terms and conditions, which was all in the French, even though it was UK site. So did you get removed completely, Nina? Or did they give you any inkling that, oh, you know what? You can join Vinted Pro soon if you like. Did they give you that information? The Swimming Bear says, absolutely no doubt about going over to Vinted Pro for my clothing sales with this move by eBay. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Mr. Crummy says, I don't think it will bring any new sellers as it offers nothing new. They may retain the existing sellers as it's a plus for private sellers. If I was a private seller, I would invest the fee into ads. So they end up getting their fee anyway, don't they? Because a lot of private sellers will say, oh, well, I'm not paying a fee, so I'll do promoted listings. Ready Steady Retro says, I do not understand what incentive a private seller will have to open a store on eBay in the future. Surely eBay will have to then offer them free shop fees or similar. Yeah, because they won't want to, will they? They won't want to start paying the fees, going from nothing to fees, you know. Ems Den says it's another kick in the nads for business sellers. So unfair, we pay tax, fees, and VAT on fees for doing things the right way. It should at least be fair for everyone selling on eBay. And that, Emsden UK, is a perfect comment. For me, it has to be fair. It's just not a fair playing field right now. You've got people selling the same item, and one person ends up with 20% in fees because they're doing promoted listings and all the fees that come with listing an item, and one person could be paying nothing whatsoever. Fines and Flips says, if Vinted Pro is no fees, as I've heard, I believe it's no fees as well, Fines and Flips, eBay will surely either follow or reduce the fees for clothing they need to. Well, don't know. Who knows? Relaxing Sounds has said, eBay is encouraging people to break the law. Private sellers will sell just like a business and not register with HMRC. Quite possible. Lisa says, eBay told me that private sellers buy more. Not sure that's 100% right. Dowboy Dan's just had some sales. Was it clothing? I can't bring your comment up. Hang on a minute. Just had 2 sales. Oh, no clothing. Oh, well, at least you've had some sales. Let's go through the chat a bit more. Limelight wonders how many business sellers there are versus private sellers. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Jack says, this update is lucky for me. I mainly sell jeans for £12 to £14 each. So having no fees gives me an extra few quid for each sale. Yeah, it certainly does. I'm going to try and whiz down the chat a bit. Tommy Trades, it's easier to list on Vinted. Casual sellers can flock to it. It's harder, more complex to list on eBay and turns certain people away. Take the hard path and stand out from the competition. Married to Reselling believes it's going to drive down prices in this category and eBay will lose overall. Could do. Maybe we're all wrong about this. Maybe we're looking at it completely wrong. Relaxing Sound says it's a trick. It will attract loads of people to sell clothes. Then when they're hooked, they're charged fees after maybe 6 months. Could be. Yeah, when they get hooked and they go over a certain amount on their account, eBay will be saying, well, hello, it's time to be a business. I'm just checking through the chat. There's not silence for no reason. Let's keep looking. Lisa says, I'm worried I won't be able to get as good prices now as private sellers will be able to give better offers. They will definitely be able to give better offers, Lisa, but fingers crossed. Hopefully, let's see how it pans out. I did react to this earlier today. I'm trying to keep a more of a level head on this evening as I was thinking about tonight's show. And I thought, we need to just put it into perspective, and that's why I'm asking for everybody's vast opinions. Once Love Treasures says they've got a plan to sell lower value clothing on Vinted Pro when it arrives and keep eBay for higher end vintage clothing. That's probably quite a good idea, Paul, I reckon. That sounds like a plan. AC Global says it's no longer level playing field to sell on eBay. It's like having a high street shop where you pay your rent and rates, but the shop next door gets it free. Absolutely, AC. That's a really good analogy, actually. Can you imagine how miffed you'd be if you'd opened up a shop and that had happened? Very, very annoying. Fluffy muffin, that's what I'm talking about. Remember that fee a few weeks ago that we talked about? 0.35%. Yeah, funny, isn't it? New fee. Now, private sellers get stuff for free. Matthew says most business sellers have a second private account. Just put clothing on that. You could do, but you do risk your account in doing so. I wouldn't advise anyone to do it, and I won't be doing it myself. What everybody else does is up to them. SB Reselling says she's predominantly a clothing seller. I'm very worried about being undercut and not being able to match it. I guess it's probably early to be too worried, Sophie. You know, don't worry too much about it. Let's just see how it pans out. And we'll see if it really does have an effect on us. Mark says, I'm looking at going into the vintage clothes market. Any clear advice? I've been watching your videos about Fleek and a few other videos from other people, but is it a bad time to get into the business? I don't think it's a bad time. You just got to be really careful with vintage clothing, especially buying bundles or buying anything blind is really, really risky. You got to be prepared to, you know, sometimes you get some great stuff. But you got to be prepared to get some trash in there as well. If you can, find somewhere where you can hand pick, Mark, where you can attend yourself, hand pick. It might cost you a bit more, but it's well worth it. Or as a second option, video picking also can take place at a lot of the vintage clothing places. Try that. But I don't think it's a bad time to get into it. Let's go through the chat a bit more. Lana says, eBay gum have no fees for business sellers, do they? Maybe eBay feel threatened by eBay gum. That's true. Who was it before who said there's nowhere that business sellers can sell for free? Well, actually, Lana's nailed it. eBay gum. The duck race is coming up. XTC. Let's try and get down to the bottom of the chat now. Where's Nina says Vinted is so bad as a platform. Say you block someone, you have no list of it anywhere. I was told just to remember who I blocked. Yeah, there definitely need some improvements, don't they, on Vinted? But as a whole, I think Vinted's pretty good. I think when Vinted Pro does finally come out, they're going to have to really improve stuff like returns. Their returns process is atrocious. Any process where you've got a problem on Vinted is atrocious. It is terrible. But other than that, I think the actual user friendliness of the platform is pretty good. Soul Steps says, give something to businesses, stop the shop fees. I think something like that would be fair, but I don't think it's going to happen though. I really don't. Les says 30 items only for private. Is that true? That can't be right, Les, surely. I don't know if that's true or not, but Les says 30 items only for private sellers. If that is true, I did not know that. Steve says, I don't understand why everyone's upset. They clearly have to compete with Vinted. Very true. Yeah, I agree. It's getting bigger and bigger. Vinted and eBay are trying to claw back their share. Yeah. We're just getting upset because of the lack of parity, the lack of fairness in it, Steve. That's the main thing, I think. I think if they had offered something out to business sellers as well, because it all seems very, very unfair. It's not a level playing field, Steve. That's why we're upset about it. I think the move that they made is a great move. It really is for private sellers. But and it's a move that they clearly want to compete with Vinted with. But imagine if they'd have done it across the board. It'd have just been like, we don't need Vinted Pro. They could have done that in one swoop. They could have said, we don't need Vinted Pro, if they'd have given it to everybody. Because I wouldn't bother with Vinted Pro when it comes out. If they said to me, clothing is free to sell with no fees, Forget Vinted Pro. I'm not asked about it. eBay's much bigger. I'll go with eBay, please. Stevie says, if it's just private sellers selling their own private stuff, it won't affect any of us. Correct. If it's proper sellers, then eBay will soon slap them with the business account requirements. Well, will they though, Steve? Because they're notoriously bad at identifying business sellers on private accounts. But yeah, I would like to think they must be savvy to this, Steve. They must be savvy that there's going to be a lot of business sellers switching to private, or at least using a private account. I would think that their AI or their bots or their staff have got to be monitoring those private accounts a lot more closely with these no fees coming in a lot more closely. The Swimming Bear said, I think the hardest thing to take is the feeling of being undermined for being an honest seller, declaring as a business, paying everything that involves, and there's lots of dishonest sellers getting rewarded. I really do agree with it. I couldn't have said it better. You do everything right, don't you? You do everything right. You register for your taxes. There's people out there who don't bother paying tax. You register for a business account. There's people who won't pay for a business account. And you feel like you do everything correctly by the book, and those are the people that get punished. Yeah, I was just checking my list to make sure there was nothing else that I didn't want to say about the subject. I'm just going to see if there's any more comments, and then we'll move on for today, because, wow, what a chat we've had tonight. Thank you all so much for getting involved. Pitco, what have I missed? You're a bit late, Pitco. You're going to have to go back and watch it. Always Outnumbered on YouTube says, private accounts should be limited to how many items they can list. I can see countless private accounts with hundreds of listings. Don't worry, it will all kick off next January when eBay asks for national insurance number. Yeah, I don't know if there is a limit on this whole thing for private sellers, but there probably should be, shouldn't there? Alison says, we are connected to 8 countries on Vinted Pro, and Vinted sorts out the shipping. Plus, one is Germany, so eBay needs to pull its finger out. It's going to lose some really big sellers if it's not careful. That's interesting, Alison. Thank you for letting me know. Nunkfish, silly question, are doll's clothes included? I don't think so, because that would come under something else, one at a different category. But interesting question. Thank you for joining us. Alethea, I'm sorry if I completely butchered that name. Creating a separate private account for clothes to break trading regs. That's a plan to improve the situation. Yeah, I won't be doing it. That's not me. I'll continue to play by the rules, even if I'm going to get penalised for it. I'm not willing to break the rules. I'm not willing to put my account under scrutiny. Let's have a look. Just checking through the chat. Thank you all so much for all your interactive comments. Barbara the Alien says, I'm not setting up a second account just for clothing. I have a large feedback and reputation, and clothing is what I mainly sell. Yeah, I wouldn't advise you do it. And I wouldn't advise you operate on a private account anyway. It's not a good idea. Jamie says, even if eBay decided to drop the fee to 5 or 6%, I'd take that. At least it's something. Yeah, I mean, it's better than nothing, isn't it? But, you know, I'd like a bit of parity, a little bit of equality on the marketplace. Right, I think we're getting to the bottom of the chat. What time is it now? Oh, no, I'm way off the bottom. I'm way off. I really am. There's so many comments. I'm just reading through here. George's Treasure Shed says, Vinted and eBay are different regarding fees. Vinted charge the buyer the fees so sellers can sell for free. eBay do the opposite, so giving us no fees and Buyers no fees surely will never happen. No, probably not. eBay would have to completely change their whole structure if they were to do that. What's this? Reseller Georgie says eBay in Germany has 0 fees from March the 1st, 2023. 0 fees in Germany. Wow. That's interesting to hear that. I did not know that. Oh, Germany has 0 fees for private sellers across the board. Ooh, that's big, isn't it? Across the board. Steve says it won't drive down prices. At the end of the day, if you're selling good quality items on a regular basis, you won't be affected. Let's not pretend that Vinted hasn't already affected prices anyway. Yeah, that's probably fair enough, that, Steve. That's probably a fair comment, that. Pre-Loved Global says Vinted is like a boot sale with bad customer service and low prices. eBay is still the best. I do feel the customers are slightly older. Yeah, it's certainly an older demographic, definitely. I'm trying to get down the chat here now. There's a comment from Dave ABL Reselling. As well as HMRC requiring eBay to report possible business sellers, eBay should have their own thresholds, forcing those sellers to register or penalize them. Yeah, I'm sure they probably have, to be honest, haven't they, Dave? They must have. Ross Holland, welcome. It will take 6 months to weed out the business sellers who are already using private accounts. That's probably the reason why they did it. Too many business sellers using private seller status. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Tea Cakes says clothing is a gateway product and people move on to other things. Got to feed the beast, because if it goes into an exponential downward spiral, it will affect everyone. Yeah, that's a fair comment, Tea Cakes. Yeah. I agree with the whole principle of what they're doing. I just think that maybe they've gone about it a bit the wrong way. Let's see. Vincent says, don't trust eBay, trust your gut instinct. They do everything for a reason, and I find it very rarely to help business sellers. It's just strange. Don't leave all your eggs in one basket. Be savvy. I do agree with the eggs in one basket. I'm on Whatnot. I'm looking at Tilt at the moment, which is another live selling platform. And I would definitely consider Vinted Pro when it comes in. So yeah, I do think you do need to have your eggs in different baskets. Pitco said it's just eBay trying new tactics to get people back on the platform. They have lots of buyers and sellers. Yeah, maybe we won't even see any real differences here. We might see nothing. Aaron says Vinted Pro, you'll have to offer 14-day returns. Yeah, I would think so. They're going to have to. They're going to have to have a proper returns system in place, because at the moment they have no return system in place. Vicky has got a good comment. I think this opened up a whole can of worms for eBay. Yeah, I think it has, Vicky, to be honest. I really do think that they've all sat around a table, all the bosses at eBay, and they've come up with this plan, but they've not thought through the ramifications for every party. Or if they have, they've really underestimated it. DJ Snipers says, I'm a private seller. I have more than 30 items listed. Yeah, I'm sure private sellers can list a lot more than 30 items. I don't think there is actually a limit on them. PK Nuts has got 60 items as a private seller. And let's see what else we got. I'm catching up now with the chat. See What You Buy says, I'm not really sure if HMRC really care if an individual has a private or business account on eBay. I think all they're interested in is if the seller pays their taxes. Probably, yeah, you're probably right. But as a business seller, you do have a responsibility to operate under UK law, which as a business seller on eBay, that forces you to follow all the correct procedures um, that you have to deal with as a business. I guess the other thing is, as a business seller, you do get extra protections. You are protected more than a private seller. Thomas says private sellers get free listings and 90% off fees every 2 weeks. I don't think it's a massive difference. eBay is a pain to list for the casual seller. Most will stick to Vinted. Yeah, I totally agree with that, Thomas. Yeah, I totally agree. I don't think it's going to attract that many people back to eBay from Vinted just because the listing process is so bad for somebody who's not used to listing. Once Love Treasures says the latest updates for business sellers have been tiny and mostly unnecessary. When was the last time there was something new that worked offered to businesses? Yeah, I can't remember. Paul, I can't remember when the last business seller update was that was really of great use. Probably, you know what? The last thing I remember being of great use, Paul, to business sellers in an update, probably best offer. That's the last big thing I remember that was like, wow. I mean, that isn't even business sellers; it's everybody, isn't it? But I remember when best offers came in and they introduced that, and that was a bit of a game changer. That was great. Lots of commenters. We've got 270 something in the chat at the moment. Thank you, everybody. Peter Ray, yeah, play by the rules as you don't know who is watching from eBay. Yeah, yeah. And I do know that eBay do watch these live streams. If you are watching, guys, at eBay, if you're all sat around your table at headquarters, big hello to everyone at eBay. We love you. We really do. Don't forget, Car Boot Chris would like to have some 0 freeze, please, forever. Yes, please. At least send me an email and offer it me, and I will consider it in due course. I'm nearly catching up. How far? I'm about 5 minutes behind. Pitco says eBay is an old dog trying new tricks, but you know what they say about teaching old dogs new tricks. Graham says they don't care about they don't care about private sellers being a business. That's why they give them 1,000 free listings per month. How can a private seller need that many? Very true. Really, a private seller does not need that many. And Carol McDonald says eBay does not restrict private buyers. I didn't think they did, to be honest with you, but I think Les was talking about when you get to 30 items or something that they pass on your details. I don't know if that is true, Carol. I can't. I don't know. 30 items seems a very, very low threshold. I could quite easily go and list 30 of my own items for sale right now. You know, I could go and list 100 items, but I don't think I could list 1,000 items. Right. We are getting to the bottom of the chat, and we're going to wrap this let's wrap this conversation up, guys, because time's cracking on, and it's been a great chat. It really has, and we haven't even done This Is Heavy yet. We're going to do that next. I'm just going to get to the bottom of the chat, and then we'll do This Is Heavy. So please, we'll call it a day on the subject for today. Dan's Interest says, "Hi mate, just want to say thanks for the vids and whatnot. Must be great being your own." Oh yeah, of course, but it comes with a lot of challenges as well, Dan. You know, being your own boss, you only got yourself to answer to at the end of the day. It's difficult, but it's definitely worth it. Right, we are finally at the bottom of the chat. Thank you, everybody. It's been really interesting chatting about that because it's a really contentious subject. It really, really annoyed me when I saw it this morning. It came quite unexpected to me. I didn't expect to see such an update. It would have been great if eBay would have had the balls to really say across the board clothing is going to be free. And that would have really put the cat amongst the pigeons, wouldn't it? That would have really been a statement to the marketplaces across the country. It would have been amazing for us all. And they didn't have the balls to do it, which is a real shame, which means Vintage Pro is still going to be a big option for many, many people, many of us, myself included. I'm not saying I'll ever leave eBay. I'll probably never leave eBay because eBay is still my biggest earner. It's still the thing that pays most of my bills. It still keeps the roof above me. It still pays for my car and my holidays. So I still love eBay, but this has been really disappointing. Let's call it a day at that. Let's end on it's been really disappointing. What can I say? Right. Let's move on. Let's do a little game. Are you all ready for a game? We're all ready to do a little game where you can actually win a prize. If you're new here, please subscribe before you head out. But now we're going to play a little game.
Great Scott. I know, this is heavy. It's heavy. It's heavy. It's heavy. It's heavy.
Right. This is heavy. So the name of this game, other than this is heavy, the reason for the game, the way we play it, I'm going to show you an item. And I want to know how much it weighs in grams. You must not go over the amount. You must be under or on it. And if you are the closest person to guess the weight, you will win a prize that will come from me and Belle, directly from me and Belle in the post. Wherever you are in the world, you can take part and you can win a prize. We'll send it in the post. Even if you are in Peru, Argentina, Australia, Malaysia, South Africa, Antarctica, we will send it there. Okay, so don't worry. We'll send you your prize in the post. Right, this is the item. A really boring set of really boring set of weighing scales, and they're nice looking, but it's nothing to write home about. I picked up these this week at a tabletop sale. Cost me like £3, probably worth about 20, 25. Now I want to know how much do the weighing scales actually weigh themselves. So they're made out of metal. I want to know how much they weigh in grams. So please put your answers in the chat. ABL, thank you, Dave, for the £2 super chat. That's very, very kind of you. I really appreciate that. Big thumbs up from Dave. Go follow him. Thanks for the super chat. I want to know how much these weighing scales weigh themselves in grams, please. And you've got a few seconds to have that guess. And I'm going to start a timer like I always do. And this is the timer coming up now.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
I'm going to write the word end in the chat. Any guesses after the word end are disqualified. So get it now. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, end. Any guesses after the word end, you are out. You are out. I'm going to go back to the start and I'm going to just see what guesses we've got. Jeff comes in with 314 grams. You are quite a way out on that one, Jeff. Tea Cakes is currently leading at 347. Elaine Parks now leads at 370. Pitco's in at 450, currently leading. Vincent is leading at 480 now. Shabba is leading at 816 grams. So anyone closer than Shabba on 816? Let's keep going. No one yet. AMPR is now leading closest at 888. AMPR might have this here. AMPR may well have won this. Let's just keep going. Husty's Emporium is now leading at 964. 964 is very, very, very close. Husty's Emporium still leading. Let's... Nafanify, you've gone over. You were close, but you've gone over. 964 is currently the winning amount. 964, 964, 964. Still 964. Wow, there's a lot of guesses today. There's still 964. Still 964. Come on. Drink and dive. 2 kilos. Are you mad? Still 964. 964. Husty's Emporium wins. The actual answer was 973 grams. So you were very close there, Husty. Let me write down your name. Send me a message on Instagram or Facebook. And send me your address, Husty, and you will get your prize in the post. Well done to everybody who had a go. Some of you came very close. Some of you were miles away. Absolutely useless. But never mind. It's a learning curve. And George's Treasure Shed sent a £2 super chat. Thank you, George. Don't forget, go and follow George's Treasure Shed channel. Very entertaining. All reselling stuff. 975. No, you went bust on that one, but you were too late anyway. Monumental. Let's see. There we go. That is it. So what's coming up on the channel this week? Well, I might be doing a whatnot, but keep a lookout for whatnot. There may be a show coming up, or depending on how Tilt goes, I've got a meeting with Tilt on Zoom, on a Zoom call tomorrow. I've already spoke to them on the phone today. They rang me up. So I've got a meeting tomorrow. Depending on how that goes, you could see me on Tilt, you might not. But if you do want some free credit on Tilt to spend, there is a link in the chat at the top of the chat. If you click the link and then use that code, you get some free credit, and I also get some free credit. So if you want to sign up with that link, that's great. If not, you can just go and join Tilt and not use my link. I'm not bothered. It's just there if you want some free credit. Thank you, Drink and Dive, now following us on Tilt. That's great. So yeah, and what else we got? Podcast. I'm going to repurpose some of tonight's show because I think the chat was really interesting, really useful for a podcast. So yeah, go and follow us on the podcast, the Everything Reselling podcast, which is available on Spotify. It's available on Alexa. It's available on Google, whatever the Google thing is for podcasts. Google Podcasts, is it? I don't know. Apple Podcasts. It's on there as well. The Everything Reselling podcast. And we've got another boot sale video out the weekend. And that is it. I've pretty much covered everything I want to chat about. Thank you for joining us. We're going to do the duck race now. So if you're in the duck race, that's amazing. Who said there's going to be fees to enter the duck race? Chris Tyler says, when will Chris introduce fees for the duck race? Soon. Don't mention podcasts. Yeah, we've already talked about that one. Oh, Elaine listens on Spotify. That's great, Elaine. Thank you. Lovely, yeah. Thank you for listening on Spotify. That is awesome. Right. Let's get the duck race going. 63 ducks in the race tonight. Here's a reminder for you. If you do want to join the duck race in future live shows, we're here every night. Not every night. No way are we here every night. Every Monday night at 8 p.m. Every Monday at 8 p.m. We do a duck race. You win a prize. Tonight's prize is a surprise because I haven't actually sorted it out yet. So tonight's going to be a random prize to the winner in the post again. And if you want to enter the duck race, when tonight's show has finished and it's all closed down and ended, if you come back to the stream, which you can watch back, you don't have to watch it all back, just come back and make a comment, and that will gain you entry into next week's duck race. But bear in mind, I can only have 100 ducks, so it's the first 100 ducks that get entered. So if you want to return to tonight's stream, make a comment, anything you like, picture of a duck emoji or whatever, that will gain you entry into next week's duck race. So here we go. Let's share the screen for tonight. Oh, let's do the music first as well. Let's get DuckTales going. So, yeah. For those of you new here, this is going to be a revelation. Oh, I can't see it from that view. Hang on a second. I need to go full screen again. Right, are we ready? I'm going to shuffle those ducks. 63 ducks in the race. We've never hit 100 ducks yet, you know. Maybe next week we're having so many on tonight's show. If you'd like to be a part of next week's duck race, please comment after the show is finished. And they're off! The duck race has begun for tonight. Retro Electronic Repair takes an early lead along with Steel Wolf up at the front. I do apologise if anybody's name spellings are slightly incorrect. That's down to AI. ChatGPT have spelt your names wrong. It's not me. My Ladybug currently leads now. Dorothy Watkinson just coming off the pace a little bit there. Kathy up front. Sue Yeomans as well. All three at the front. We've got Kathy, Sue and Ladybug all currently leading the race. Ali Evans is close as well with a naked duck. If we look towards the back of the pack, who's floundering tonight? It's George's... No, it's not George's Treasure Shirt. It's Once Loved Treasures, sorry. Once Loved Treasures coming up through the middle of the pack. But towards the back, we've got Paul Rose. We've got Sarah Marsden. We've got Yeoman's Comedy, Retro Boot Disc, and Bell's Cozy Corner all sort of floundering at the back. Greg is coming up right through the middle of the pack there, right to the front. Is Greg going to actually take the lead now? Greg has come from the back to the front of the pack there. We've got Limelight Vinty, Andrew Worth, and AMPR, and Gwaz all sort of leading the way here. It could be any of them or indeed none of them. The duck race seems to be having a bit of a meltdown at the moment. It keeps flashing at me. Richard Payne now leading the race with the big red duck. Heavenly Boots has come forward. Lisa Emsden UK are up there as well. Rachel Nash as well. It's all quite tightly packed at the front. It's starting to spread out a bit. Rachel Nash has moved backwards. We've got Mike and Francis, Yeoman's Comedy, Carol McDonald currently leading. We've got three ducks neck and neck. It's going to be really, really close. No, it's not. They've moved back. We've got no idea who's going to win this. Gwaz could win it. It's going to be Gwaz. No, it's Bell's Cozy Corner. I thought it was Gwaz for a second, but Bell's Cozy Corner pipped him to the post. It's Bell's Cozy Corner, the winner of tonight's duck race. Well done to Bell. You can also follow Bell's Cozy Corner on the YouTube. They've got their own channel. Well done to Bell. You are a winner. Please send me a message. I'm going to send you out a mystery surprise prize in the post. Well done to Bell's Cozy Corner. That was close at the end. I thought Gwaz had won that, and then all of a sudden, from out of nowhere, it was Bell's Cozy Corner. And there you go. For everybody new here who's never watched a duck race before, wow, you have just been enlightened. Husty nearly had a double. Well done to Belle, well done to Belle, well done to Belle, well done to Belle. Is Belle here? Gwaz, you were so close. I thought you had it. I genuinely thought that was yours then, but the last second Belle's Cozy Corner. Let's turn off that music before it all drives us nuts. There we go. Well, she says thanks, says Sam and Belle. Oh, awesome. Please send. I do have your address somewhere. Will you send it me again? Because it also acts as a reminder. I've just sold some on my TikTok shop. That'll be my first sale on TikTok, guys. Hang on a minute. Hang on. I've just sold something on TikTok. Was it somebody in the chat? If it was, thank you. But this deserves this.
This is my island in the sun.
TikTok shop has finally paid off. I've sold something. But I don't know what it is. How do I find out? No clue. I don't know. I'll have a look afterwards. Anyway, I'm excited now. Sold some on TikTok. What a life. What a world we live in. We are done. We are done for tonight. I need to shut that duck up. There we go. Right. Thank you, everybody, for joining tonight's show. There was lots of new people. I really appreciate everybody. Does it work? Not working now. Yeah. I really appreciate everybody popping along. If you're new here and you've never been to one of our live shows, please consider hitting the subscribe button and come back again next week. Maybe you'll watch a video or two. If not, it's fine. Just come and watch the live shows. It'd be great to have you along. We had something like 270 odd people in the chat today, and that is a world record for Cookie and the Haydens. We've smashed the world record. Thank you so much. I'm sorry if I couldn't keep up with the chat. There was so many comments. I am going to repurpose parts of tonight's show as a podcast episode. So hopefully, you know, that'll be interesting. You know, you guys don't have to come back and listen to it because you probably know it already. But if you missed it, you can try again. That's it anyway. Thank you all so much. And look out for more content this week. Don't forget Tilt as well. That might be worth a go. You might see me on there. You might not. I'm stalling for time because I'm trying to find the outro. Right, everyone. Take care. Have a good week. Happy sales. And don't forget to get your clothes listed. Thanks very much for watching. Really appreciate it. If you want to catch up on another one of my videos, you can try one like this or one like this. They're both good ones. Give it a go. Or you can subscribe by pressing this button here. There you go. See you later.